Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Handmaiden, and this movie came out in 2016, and it's directed by Park Chan-wook, and I have been wanting to see this movie for a while, and normally when I look for a movie to watch on a streaming platform, I just Google to see where it's streaming on, what platforms can I watch it on, and there's a place that says where to watch, and all I could see was Fandango at Home. And apparently, it's also on Amazon Prime, where you don't have to rent it. It's just free to watch with a couple of ads, and that's it. This whole time, I could have watched it on Amazon Prime. I don't know how long. I don't know how long it's going to be there, but I am so happy that I was able to see it because I love this movie. I thought it was excellent, and this is from the same director as Thirst and Old Boy from 2003. And I love both of those movies, and this one, I loved it just as well. And first off, this movie looks beautiful. Every shot has a purpose to it, and it gives you so much to soak in just from the location and to the framing. And it's just a very beautiful movie to look at, and I just love how things are presented visually. There's so much to take in with how things are presented from a visual standpoint, and I just love it overall. I thought the acting in this movie was pretty great from what I could tell. Obviously, the language barrier is always going to be an issue, but from what I could tell, it was great, and I also really love the story and the directions that it goes down, because as you start into the movie within the first 10-15 minutes, maybe a bit more or less, it sounds like a pretty simple story, and you read the plot synopsis and you realize, okay, this is not super complicated, but once you start to get into the movie, you realize, oh, there's like layers all throughout this movie, and it goes down all these different directions. Sometimes the tone changes at times, and never once did it feel as though it was falling apart. It was always natural for me, and I'm just so happy that we got a movie that is like this, that does not fall apart. And it stood out as something unique, and as something that I just couldn't get enough of. And I love the music in this movie as well. It adds to every scene that it's used in. And also when it chooses not to use music, I thought it was used incredibly well. Like when it chose not to use music is what I mean. Like these scenes without music, or moments without music, add to the film. And it never once feels as though, oh, it's out of place at any given moment, nor does it affect the pacing and makes it feel slow. Never. I was with the film from the moment it started to the moment it ended. It was just a great ride for me, and I could easily watch this movie again right now. And there's so many memorable scenes in this movie that I just love, and the characters are very strong and interesting, and I was worried that there might be too many characters in this film, but surprisingly, there aren't all that many major characters that we focus on. There's at least 3 major characters that we focus on. Some would say 4, but I never got lost in terms of the directions it was going. And I love how things are presented in this movie, and it's always very smart, and it never once feels as though it's treating the audience like idiots. Like there's little subtleties that you can just pick up on while watching the movie or rewatching the movie, or after you're done watching the movie and just think about it for a minute, and you realize, oh, that was actually done so in a brilliant way, and I didn't exactly see that coming. There's some great reincorporations sprinkled throughout the film that I thought were done incredibly well. I love the editing in this movie. I do feel as though it adds a lot to the film and to the way it helps out with the tension and the pacing, and just so much about it that just stands out to me. And this movie is always able to stay one step ahead of the audience, and it goes in directions that you might not be expecting, but not in a way that makes it feel as though it's unsatisfying. It always goes in directions that feel, at the very least, natural to the story, but never becomes predictable. And even if you can predict certain moments, it never feels as though it's unsatisfying. It always feels, at the very least, yep, that's probably the best way it could have happened. And there was one particular moment in this movie, and it was in like the middle chunk of the movie where I got a little bit of Eyes Wide Shut vibes, which was kind of funny to me. I can't exactly say what that was because I don't want to spoil anything, but it was just in the middle of the movie and it didn't take me out of the experience. But the only thing that I would say is a flaw for this movie is just an editing choice that was made towards the end. Just some slow motion that I felt was unnecessary, and it was like artificially slowed down where you just have less frames or whatever, that type of slow motion, and I just felt as though it was unnecessary. And where things end up in the story without spoiling anything, I found to be very satisfying, and I just loved it overall, and I would highly recommend that you check this movie out. I thought it was great, loved it, want to see it again right now, and apparently there's an extended edition of this movie. I haven't seen that version, but from what I hear, it kind of ruins certain things because not only is it just longer, but also is told in a way that's not as emotionally impactful as this theatrical cut that I'm reviewing right now. This version is 2.5 hours. I think the extended cut is 3 hours or something. But I can't really say much about that version because I haven't seen it. But this version I would highly recommend, and hopefully it's still on Amazon Prime and they haven't taken it down since me recording this. So check it out as soon as you get the chance. I wouldn't exactly recommend watching this with your family because it might not be their cup of tea, but overall, still love it and would love to see it again. And I've said that many times already, but I just really love the movie. And with all that being said, I'm going to give The Handmaiden a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of The Handmaiden, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.